This was my biggest mistake that I made when I was doing my pop-up. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If y'all are new here, welcome. If you have already been here, welcome back. Y'all already know this is all about where I teach you how to start an online boutique, tips and tricks, weekly valuable content, and more. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can keep on giving you free information. As you can read by the title, today I'm going to be giving you kind of a general list of what tools you're going to need for your pop-up shop, and this is going to be organized in the main tools, the tools I recommend, extra things, and then some personal items you do not want to forget. So I will also be including a checklist below where you can have this and refer to this later and check it off with links to purchase the item as well. If you do choose to purchase any of the items below, please do use my links because it helps me create more free videos like this one without any extra cost to you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right in. So let's begin with some of the main things that you will definitely need. And before I start this video, let me just mention that this is specifically for a boutique pop-up. So if you have a skincare store, a cooking store, these items might be a little bit different for you. But nonetheless, feel free to watch if you think it'll help you. And I would love to hear how some of your pop-ups went after this if you did it. So let's get started. The first thing that you are going to need are definitely hanging racks. And the ones that I found specifically are super cheap and they're easy to assemble, easy to disassemble. They're also extendable. So you can either have it as like the 4 foot or whatever it is, or you can extend it to 5 feet, 6 feet, whatever you want. I think they're fantastic. You literally just screw on the wheels, you screw together the bottom part, and then you pop together the rest of the hanger. So it's really easy to assemble, really easy to disassemble, and it fits in small places like your car. They're also double-sided, so you're getting more bang for your buck and you're getting a lot of space with these. So for $45, you really cannot beat them. And because I am in the middle of moving, I do not have them physically with me to show you. But if you do want to go ahead and watch my pop-up shop video where I talk about how it went, what I profited, and what I did beforehand, then I'll go ahead and link it somewhere over here because it shows you exactly how my setup looked. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and check that out. Now the next thing that you're going to need are definitely mannequins. And I am not talking about those standing mannequins because those specifically are like $200 each, and I know you don't got that kind of money, and I know I don't got that type of money yet. So as a beginner, I think you should definitely invest in some hanging mannequins. And the ones that I have, they're the kind that you see when you go to Plato's Closet. So it hooks to the end of your clothing rack, and then you can go ahead and style your clothes that way. So I'll insert a picture here of what I mean, and these are actually the same exact ones that I use for my pop-up shop. Also, bonus tip, if you are able to get different sizes in the hanging mannequins, make sure to get different sizes because I noticed that some people would see my mannequins and then just keep walking because they assume that I wouldn't sell things that are their size. So go ahead and get yourself some mannequins, and once you do that, also invest in these little things called Yida picks. Those I do have with me, and I swear by these because they are just basically these little clips that you use to clip your clothes together, and you use it to style it on the mannequin so it looks nice. But the difference with these is they're not the wooden ones, so they're not going to scratch your clothes, nor are they going to leave splinters. So I recommend that you get these Yida picks. They are a 40 count and they're pretty cheap on Amazon. So I would say definitely go ahead and get the Yida picks, the mannequins, the hanging racks. Obviously you're going to need hangers. I personally used velvet hangers and I bought them in bulk on Amazon. But let me let you in on a little secret. If you have a Sam's Club membership, they actually sell a pack of 50 for $15. So if you can get your hands on the ones at Sam's Club, then go ahead and do that. And if not, I will go ahead and link the ones that I bought below so you can purchase them as well. And then for pant hangers, I just bought some regular old black hangers, and that was basically it. So definitely have hangers, have a hanging rack, have your mannequins, have your Yida picks. Furthermore, I do not want you to forget this. You are definitely going to need a card reader, and I actually talked about this in the video that I attached here as well. But I personally recommend that you use whatever card reader is directly compatible with your web host. So what this basically means is if you're using Shopify, try to use the Shopify card reader as well as the Shopify POS to eliminate really any kind of third-party integration needed and minimize any kind of mistakes and glitches that can happen. Because I was hearing a story about this one girl who had Shopify, but she was trying to save a little bit of money and use Square, but she was literally saying like the Square card payments were giving out. She was saying it stopped working, it was ratchet, and she ended up having to use like Cash App or something like that. So I would say go ahead and get the Shopify card reader if you're using Shopify, and if you are not, try and see if they sell one that is directly compatible with your host, and go ahead and try to get that one for your store. So with that being said, I also recommend that you need a cash box. And I guess this is kind of something more optional, but I personally wouldn't just have money laying out in the open. And to my surprise, a lot of people were actually using cash. Now if you're worried about getting change, what I did was I would just round it down for the customer. If, for example, it was $46.13, I would make it $46, or $48.90, I would make it $48, because I was not able to get change since we are on a shortage, and a lot of people didn't mind that, or they would just try to give me even change. So I would say definitely get a cash box, or at the very least a cash apron, which is cheaper, but I just didn't want to be carrying that money all on me. I will link everything down below, and just make sure to also break your money at the bank before you go. I will have like a to-do list as well as a checklist in the description. So again, if you're going to need any of this information, I'm going to have it below, and I also have links to everything. So I got you. Okay, so moving on, you're also going to need some kinds of shopping bags. Again, I got some in bulk on Amazon for I think $25 for a 75 count, and it came in an assortment of small bags for like accessories and stuff, medium bags, and then large bags. So I just did that, and I had some pink tissue paper that I paired with it. And that was basically my shopping experience for the customer. Now, one thing that you can do that would be really cute is you can get these bags and then order some stickers from your boutique and put it on the front so the customers can see your logo. So I didn't do that because I didn't think about it, but I saw somebody else do it, and that was actually really smart. So that's just a little idea for you. So I definitely say you need some kind of shopping bags, even some little ratchet plastic bags or something to give to your customer. But I do recommend that you go with paper to A, save the planet, and B, because you can customize it and put stickers on it and all that. So you definitely need shopping bags. Tissue paper is optional, but it makes it look really cute. And for the prep, I would definitely say that you should definitely get some hang tags, which are just a little clothing tags that hang off your clothing to show your brand name, and then a pricing gun. Now, let me tell you something about a pricing gun. If you are a small business, since you're not going to have barcodes, it's really important that you at the very least have the prices on there somehow. So because you're probably not customizing each item with a custom price for every single thing, a pricing gun is going to be the easiest and the smartest thing for you to do. So this is just one of the things that I kind of did for prep before I went in and did my setup. I just had all the prices on there, and the customers didn't have to question me, and I also didn't have to go through the hassle of getting them printed onto my tags every single time. So get a pricing gun. That's definitely important and highly recommended. I don't know if I said hang tags or Hangtag Gun, but either way, if you have hang tags, you're definitely going to need a Hangtag Gun, because how are you gonna put them on if you don't have the gun? You can also use security loops, which I did for some things, but for things like sets, it didn't really work well, so I had both options. But either way, they're both affordable, they're both really easy to do, and that's a good way to private label your clothes. And then I have the last two items for the main tools, and then we're going to move on to my recommendations. So I definitely think / recommend that you get size stickers, because you don't want people digging through your stuff, messing things up. Oh my god, the sun just like disappeared. I don't know if you guys just saw that. But what I was saying is you guys don't want people to be messing your things up, or things get out of order, or people have to guess what size it is and dig through it. Because let me tell you guys something, not all vendors put the size on the tag back here. So on dresses, sometimes it's towards the bottom on the side. For some things, it's like in the most random places. So I would say definitely get your size stickers, and size sticker everything before you get started. And I would also bring them with you just in case, because there was one dress that I forgot to sticker, and then some of them fell off. So bring them with you and definitely get some. And then of course, my last quick mention is having your barbs for your hang tags. If you do choose to have barbs, get the 2-inch ones, do not get the 1-inch ones, because they're going to be super ugly and they're not going to hang off your item enough for customers to actually be able to pick it up and look at it. So that's kind of hard to explain, But what I basically mean, and I think I had an example in an old video, so I'll go ahead and put it in here. So this is a bandeau that I sell, and I have a clothing tag attached to it, but because the barb is so short, it's having a hard time hanging off nice, and I have to kind of pull it down to really give it that same Instagram effect that other people have. So if I had a 2-inch barb instead, this would hang off flawlessly and I can make it look a lot cuter than what it is right now. So I don't know if that made sense, but my tip to you is to get 2-inch barbs for your hang tags. And also if you have black hang tag labels, it looks really nice when you do it with black barbs. With that being said, go ahead and get that. Or like I said, I'm also going to link some security loops below. Okay, awesome. Now that we are finished with the main tools, we're going to go ahead and move on to the things that I recommend that you get. And the very first thing that I'm going to mention is I highly recommend that you get a changing pod. And I say this because I almost did not get one, and I cannot tell you how much people ended up using that thing. I want to say probably 8 out of 10 customers, 9 out of 10 customers definitely wanted to try their item on. So changing pod, definitely worth it. It's only $30, so go ahead and just get all your things and finance them. Amazon could plug for that, because you can just finance things and then plug that into your monthly profit to pay that money back. Even though everything was really expensive for me, I think my monthly financing amount came out to like $45, sorry. $45 a month, but I can make that back in 1 order, 2 orders, rather than paying it all up front and stressing and having to account for that before I recoup that money. So you can do all this and do financing on Amazon if you want to, if you have an Amazon credit card or if you have a different credit card that'll let you finance. I am not a financial advisor, but that is just a little tip slash hack that I have for you. All right, and then my second recommendation to get to you is a mirror. Even just a little cheap one. You do not have to go all out and get one of those big nice ones that I had. But I know Walmart has one for like $26, I want to say, and I'll go ahead and link it below so you can get it. And although it's not a grand mirror, it's not beautiful, it'll get the job done, and it's more than enough to bring to your pop-up shop. And on the positive side, since it isn't as big and bulky, it's going to be a lot easier to carry, and you're going to be saving money. So what's to lose in the end anyways? But I will link both mirrors below if you're interested, and then you can decide and you can check it out for yourself. Moving on, my other recommendation to you is to use a portable charger. And I say this because this was another thing that I almost didn't get, but was really happy I did, because I want to say I was using it at least 2 or 3 times throughout the day. Now granted, my pop-up shop was longer. It was from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and it was 3 days long. So this is one of those things that I definitely needed for my pop-up shop, but I ended up needing to charge my iPad, my speaker, my phone, because I was playing music, taking orders, showing customers photos of the item when they asked. So I would definitely just recommend getting a good portable charger. Don't get one of those cheap ones that will charge for 2 hours and then break on you, because trust me, you are going to need to have that charge. So I found one that was about $50 and it performs just as good as the ones that are $120 and plus. So if you want that one, you can check below, or if you got your own plug for that, you know how to do your thing. So yes, a portable charger is one of my high recommendations as well. And then I think a branded tablecloth is definitely optional, but it gives your business pizzazz and it helps people to remember your name when they see it. My supplier was good, but they made a mistake and put it on the top and not the front. So make sure that your logo is on the front of your tablecloth and not the top, because you want customers to pass by your store and know who you are. So branded tablecloth is always a good idea. Again, it's optional. If you're on a budget, you don't have to get it. You can see if the person that you're renting from has one that you can borrow for the time being. So that's just a little recommendation to you, but again, it's not required. And then I would definitely say thank you cards, because again, it's all part of branding. It's going to help customers remember your brand. It's going to help with customer retention, and it's just going to keep putting your name out there. So if you don't really know how to design, you don't really know where to get nice thank you cards, I actually sell templates on Etsy, and I will link my shop below, and you can just go ahead and purchase them. You can modify them, and you can just print them out at your preferred supplier. So I have personally printed with Canva before, and I really liked how they came out. I can't exactly recall how much they cost. Let me check in my expenses real quick though. Give me 1 second. So they were $55 for 100 pieces, so pretty much 55 cents a piece. Now I know that's not very cheap for some people, so you can definitely get your own supplier. You don't have to print it from Canva. It's just all I knew at the moment, and that's what I did. So you can check some companies like nextdayflyers.com, you can check Vistaprint, you can see if AliExpress does it. I don't know if they do, but you can try. But yeah, thank you cards are definitely something that I recommend that you get. And then this was my biggest mistake that I made when I was doing my pop-up, was that I didn't have any banners. So I'm gonna show in here if I can find the video, but when people would walk past my store, they kept seeing the sign of the company that I was renting from and not my business, and they would take pictures and think that it was my store, which sucked. And I think even if you're not renting from somewhere that's so heavily branded by the company that you're renting from and not you, it's still definitely a good idea to have banners, because that's what's going to catch the attention of someone who is walking by. And honestly, they're only 82 bucks a banner, and it would be much more worth it if you just had that and got 3 customers who saw it and came and purchased from you, rather than people who kept walking by and didn't even stop because they didn't know you existed. So I would say you should definitely get banners. Again, totally optional. I didn't do it for my first pop-up, but I regret it. But that's definitely something that you can think about and tie into your budget. Okay, so the last 3 are kind of quick. I recommend that you bring a speaker, because something that I did that's kind of silly is I would see a potential customer and I would blast the volume so they noticed me, and they would end up turning their head and then purchasing from my store. So that's kind of like something silly that I did, but it actually worked well. And I found a JBL speaker that was on sale for $30 at Amazon. So I'm going to link that one down below. I don't know if it's going to still be on sale at the time of this video, but you can definitely go ahead and check. So yeah, I think a speaker is great. It'll also make you stand out and help you kind of define the vibe for your store, because if you were in a mall like I was and they're playing something like some sad, sappy music that's from Kids Bop, you don't want customers to walk into your store and feel that way. Like, you want them to walk into your store and feel like they're purchasing from your brand. And if your brand is kind of like on that baddie fashion, like how mine is, then maybe you want to play some clean rap. You want to find a good rap playlist, or maybe some hip hop, some R&B, something trendy, EDM if that fits your vibe. So I think a speaker is a great investment. Again, not required, just recommended. And I think that's it for all of my personal recommendations. So now we're just going to talk about the extras, and these are kind of like the things that you forget about but you should have. So one of the things that I almost forgot was a loading or unloading cart, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't even have to be a crazy one. You can get like a $50 dolly or one of those $70 wagon carts, or just really something that'll help you carry that inventory in and out of your venue, because I almost did this hand in hand, and if it was not for my brother who reminded me that I needed a cart or something, I would have literally been struggling the whole night, and my setup would have probably taken forever. So get some kind of cart, get a dolly, get something that can load your inventory into your venue. I recommend also printing a back in X amount of time sign, if that makes sense, and putting a plastic sheet over it, and then using that to let people know when you'll be back from a break or from a bathroom, or if you needed to step out or something, you can just write it in and then erase it afterwards. I don't have a picture right now of how I did it, but I'm going to find one on Google and insert it. But basically just print it on a regular sheet of paper, put one of those plastic sheets over it, you know what I'm talking about, and have a dry erase marker, and then just a marker board eraser, and just write it every time you need to step out. So if you're going for a lunch break, just be like, back in 30 minutes, erase it, and then bathroom break, just write back in 5 minutes, erase it, and that way you're not wasting paper, you're not wasting plastic, and customers can get the right message when they walk by your store. So definitely have a sign that lets customers know what time you'll be back. And then have your social media handles printed out and on a QR code that is visible to the customer. I had mine printed out and actually inside of a picture frame so people can see it a lot better. And I also had my social media handles on my table cover. I also had a dot card, but I really don't recommend dot cards because they don't work well in my experience, and also nobody really feels comfortable walking up to your phone and tapping it, because a lot of people think that it's like scam or something. So you can try dot cards if you're kind of techie, but I think for my personal business and the type of niche that I'm in, that was something that was just unnecessary and unneeded. But if you know what dot cards are, if you've heard of dot cards and you still want to try it, go ahead, maybe it'll work better for you. So I still recommend having your QR codes the old-fashioned way. That has been what has worked for me the best. And when I did my pop-up shop, I did gain a lot of followers, even from people who didn't buy from me. So that itself is super valuable. And then of course, if you're having sales, make sure you're having obvious sales signs. I had done the same thing where I had a picture frame with the printout of all my sales. And then also make sure you're putting signs next to the items that are on sale. I noticed this improved my conversion by a lot. And I think honestly at my next pop-up, I'm going to actually have bins of what's under $20, what's under $10, $15, and so on. But what I mean by having signs out in front of the items that are on sale is just write something out. It doesn't have to be nice or anything. I didn't do this the first day of my pop-up, and I had realized the next day that this would have probably improved my conversions by a lot. And literally took my label printer, printed out some stickers, stuck them where my jeans were, and then took a business card, wrote the discount on it, and then taped it down to my table cover. So definitely have your sales as well as any kind of sign that'll let customers know that that item is on sale. Like I said, doesn't have to be fancy. It can be made on your label printer, on a sheet of paper, whatever you choose that is in your budget and that you think is aesthetic. Also bring tape. Tape was my holy grail. I'm so happy that I brought tape, and I personally brought the thicker tape. So yeah, I recommend bringing that. And then just have some extra Sharpies or pens in case you need to cross something out, fix a price, write a customer a note, or something like that. So pens, Sharpies, of course, make sure you have that. And I also did bring extra hangers because when I worked in retail, our hangers would snap. Fortunately, that was not the case with these because they actually were very high quality. But if you want to, I still recommend that you do bring extra hangers because it's better to be safe than sorry. I brought a lint roller to lint roll anything that was getting dusty, or if my table cover was getting dirty, I made sure and went ahead and took care of that. And then a little trick I have for you is if you're gonna get that pop-up tent that I was mentioning before, go ahead and get some Febreze fabric spray to deodorize things, because I did have some people who smelled like sweat or had just came from the outside and then the dressing room smelled like that after them. So I actually had gotten a Febreze that I could spray onto my dressing room and make it smell nice for the customers. So that's just overall a much better experience for them. You don't want somebody to walk into your dressing room and get hit with the smell of BO, the smell of body odor or food or something unpleasant. So it's a small step but a big step to improve your customer experience. So I definitely recommend that you get some Febreze. Alright, and I'm just going to kind of go quickly through these last few because they're kind of self-explanatory, but extra inventory that can go under your tables because you want to keep your shelves full, and it's never a bad thing to sell out and keep selling. So bring your extra inventory, have extra shopping bags just in case, a box cutter, and just some tools to tighten the clothing racks if need be. This is definitely extra because I didn't need to do that. The ones that I recommended are super sturdy, but it's just an extra step that you can think about. The last two, but not the least two, is a seam ripper set. I 110% recommend that you bring that with you because you don't know when you're going to need to trim something or you're going to re-put a tag or do something like that. So bring your seam ripper set just in case. I think I did have to use it once or twice. So I recommend that you have that with you. And also the one that I personally use comes with a lot of other handy tools. I'm going to link everything down below again, and you can go ahead and use the same exact tools that I use. And then tarps, which are super optional because my pop-up shop was 3 days long, so I did need them because it was required to cover them at night. But that's optional, but I'm just gonna throw it out there just in case that's something that you could have forgot about. So moving on, I know that was lengthy, but I wanna make sure I'm giving you guys the best and the most helpful tips that I can. And if you haven't smashed that subscribe button yet, then what are you doing? I'm giving you free information and you haven't subscribed. Anyways, so I'm just going to be your best friend in this situation and remind you to not forget your chargers. Do not forget to fully charge everything the night before. So let that be your iPad, your phone, whatever is taking your orders. Charge your speaker. Charge your card reader. Do not forget to charge your card reader because you can't take payments if it's dead. And also bring the chargers to your pop-up shop. Do not forget that because I actually had to run to 7-Eleven and purchase a really crappy charger because I forgot mine at home. So do not forget your chargers and do not forget to charge your things the night before. So last but not least, some personal things that you don't want to forget is definitely some water. You want to stay hydrated. You can maybe even get electrolyte packets or coconut water or something like that to keep you hydrated throughout the day, because you are going to be talking a lot and you don't want to have cotton mouth. So bring water. I would say also bring chapstick, deodorant, maybe a really light, non-offensive perfume to freshen up, because you want people to walk by you and notice that you smell good, because that can spark conversation as well. But you also don't want to be like one of those boys in middle school who literally just shower with Axe. So bring some non-offensive perfume that would likely be enjoyed by everybody. And yeah, gum, toothpicks, you can never be too prepared. So I want to say that this is all for this video. If you have watched this far, thank you so much, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel if you already have. And if you haven't, make sure to go ahead, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell, because these are all things that help me and help me to push out more free videos for you. So go ahead and also follow me on Instagram. Don't be afraid to ask me questions or ask for help if you need it. I don't bite. I will be more than happy to help you out if I can. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. So like I said already, make sure to hit a like, subscribe, and comment below, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more important videos. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!